started. All right, so wait just a sec for everybody to pop back in. We'll
Yep.
probably go ahead and tweet this out too.
Yes. Doing that right now. Once it comes up.
I know for anybody watching this on the watching this after it's been live, we will look at we know that the 4 o'clock East Coast games are rough ones for these live commentary things because everybody still might be at work and stuff like that. So that's something we'll be taking into account.
Yeah. See if there are some ones that are later that we could do.
Yeah, this just worked out before the Patreon launch and everything. But yeah, a disappointing loss, but maybe not as disappointing as we have seen from the Kraken. Just a heads up, I'm a Dylan as well. Our chats are just loaded with Dylans.
Yeah. What's the deal? I don't mind. I mean, this is great. Like, what can be better? Just being in chat surrounded with Dylans.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Love to see that from everybody. Gonna go ahead and close the game there. Don't need that anymore. Remember to plug your merch. Yes, so merch has been doing really, really well since we launched those new designs back on Wednesday. People have been doing. Everybody's been buying a ton, especially today, Black Friday.
People taking advantage of the Black Friday deal, which I do want to plug right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got a big Black Friday sale. You can save 15% off store wide your whole purchase. Save 15% off. Just use our code ECH15. Like Emerald City Hockey, ECH15. Use that code at checkout. It'll save you 15% off your whole order. Take advantage of that.
Yeah, so definitely go check that out. Check out all the new designs if you weren't here for the last post game where we showed them all off. What is it? About 6 designs, I think, 5 or 6.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think it's 6 new ones.
Yeah. So, Sergeant Pickles, that's 4 Dylans by my count. Seems like all of us spell it the correct way as well. Yes. That live commentary was the best thing about the game. Totally convinced me to get that top package. Awesome. Thank you so much, Joshua.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks in advance for when we launch that. Coming up, what is that? Less than a week away, right?
Yep.
Wednesday,
Coming
I
up
think's the
soon.
first.
Yes, that is next Wednesday. So yeah,
Yeah.
Patreon launches next Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Um, so we'll see if we get some people that weren't here for the live commentary, if they have questions and stuff like that. But I thought overall it went really well. I hope all of you guys liked it. Those of you that were there for it.
Yeah, and I mean, let us know because again, it's kind of a trial run for us too.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know if there's anything maybe a little bit different that you want to see, things you liked, suggestions, anything like that. We're looking to create the best the best live commentary we can for all of you. So let us know.
Yeah. And then Striatic, I can't bring myself to be too upset about the game, even being shut out. They did some good things. Don't know if the passing is easily fixed, though, and necessary for continued success. Yeah, I mean, it's because it's not the passing itself to me. It's just that they try to hurry, they try to force things, they maybe panic a little in certain situations when they're down. It's more so it's the mental side of things rather than the physically being able to pass, and I feel like that's stuff that is improvable, right? You
Yeah,
can work on that and you can train guys out of that.
exactly, and that kind of gives some hope for improving that area of the game. It's certainly not something that's you're stuck into.
Yeah. It may cut into my post game Gatorade fund, but that top Patreon level will be well worth it. That's from Sergeant Pickles. Awesome to hear it. Yeah. So I again, it was something that we had seen kind of go away for the Kraken for a little while. The idea of when they were down, they would just kind of panic. Like I thought the Washington game was the perfect example of that, of them hanging in there, playing tough. Yes, it was a brutal turnover to start that game off, right, and get that Tom Wilson goal. You're down 1-0 right away, but I thought they did an excellent job of coming back from that one and playing a full 60 minutes. Would you consider this a full 60-minute performance?
I would. Weirdly enough, I mean, given the score and how it all went, but I would. I think they were played consistently, pretty much the same way all 60 minutes. At the very end, they did kind of take some more risks, but you have to do that when you're down. I don't think that's really that they played any worse. It's just tactically, it's what you need to do.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and kind of ironically, it might be one of the most consistent 60-minute performances. In not a negative sense.
Yeah, I would say it was. I would consider it a 60-minute performance. I think at the end there was a little bit of, okay, like let's just get this game over, but I think that's kind of normal. I'm not going to hold that against anybody given the circumstances. Um, so again, that's a positive for me. Not only did they hang in there tough after the first goal, but they hung in there all the way through, at least mostly to the end in ways that we
Yep.
hadn't seen from them. And again, they started off strong. They looked good through that first period.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it's that one goal against is tough, but they looked good overall through the first, and they hung with them. At the end, it kind of got they got a little sloppy, giving up a little too much, but you had the start that you wanted to on the road,
Hmm.
um, which yeah, I mean that's a good accomplishment. It's something that they didn't always have last road trip.
Yeah, and it is the kind of loss that you don't need to dissect too much, because you can just kind of on to the next game, Florida tomorrow. It's not like it's like, okay, we got a lot of work to do, but we don't have the time to do it because we're playing again tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think that helps. Let's see. Do you think Eberle will be our all-star for the All-Star weekend? That's from Brian.
That's right, because I mean it is guaranteed one all-star per
Hmm.
team. Um, Good question. Yeah, I mean given the way he's scoring, maybe.
I think it might be McCann at that point, depending on the point
Yeah.
setup. That being said, I'd love to see it be Yanni Gord.
Yes, I was thinking Yanni Gord.
I think
That'd be a good one.
that would be a lot of fun. Alex asking, using please for the Kraken to score tomorrow.
There you
Hopefully
go.
that works.
Asked
Stratic.
nicely. We
Yep.
will oblige.
For live stream suggestions, if you can manage a shots on goal bug, or maybe getting uh, natural stat trick data or something similar on screen, it would add some extra value to the stream. I can look into that. I don't know how easy or hard it'll be, but definitely something we could look into, Striatic. Alex, the last 5 minutes they really pressured Tampa. Yeah, I mean they did. It was good. We need Lindsay in here to officially kick off tonight's edition of hashtag Emerald City Therapy. It's from Sergeant Pickles.
Yeah. And then right on cue, Lindsay into the chat.
Yep, I feel like I don't have a ton to say about this game. Kraken lost to a very good team. Yes, it was their first time getting shut out, but it still didn't hurt as much as other losses. And I agree with that. I think that's a big takeaway from tonight, is that it doesn't feel like that kind of same hopeless, brutal, like just watching it all happening, knowing it's going to happen the whole time, the way some of those losses
Yeah.
were.
And yeah, I feel pretty similarly to the way Lindsay does. I mean, I think she's got a good read on it. You know, it just they lost to a very good team, and a lot of the losses, especially ones like the Arizona game or some of these other ones, a Chicago game, felt like it just didn't make sense. I
Hmm.
mean, why we should be losing to a team like this? Why? Why it doesn't make sense?
Right.
And that was part of the frustrating part about it, right? And there's none of that tonight. It makes sense why they
Yeah.
lost, and not even in like that bad a way. You just look at what this Tampa team is and what they can do.
Yeah, exactly. RJ, based off the practices, do you see what they work on translate to the games?
I do, and that's one of the things that was kind of so frustrating during the losing streak, is that the areas that they did work on, it felt like they translated pretty well to improvement in the game. It's just that they didn't really work on the areas that I felt that needed to be improved. But now they've done a better job of doing that. They really took some time to work on the power play and open up some different looks, and it worked, and that's improved. They stuck with the transition play that stayed good, and making sure they have their men marked up defending odd man rushes. That was like the most recent point of emphasis, defending odd man rushes. And I mean, I'll kind of, I guess, leave the judgment to all of you, but I think it's been better.
Yeah.
And you can decide for yourself what you think it is, but defending odd man rushes, they're not giving up ones the way they were in Colorado anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think you have to look farther than that big hit delivered by Alexiak
Mm-hmm.
defending that one. Um, because that's one of the things that had been a problem for them, and
Yep.
and clearly they've worked on it. Is Jared McCann going to be an RFA or a UFA? He's going to be an RFA.
Yep.
So
Thankfully.
yeah, thankfully. Uh, that being said,
Imagine how
it's
much you get paid as a UFA.
gosh, so much. The Kraken
Yeah,
would
he
have
would
moved him by
break the
now.
bank.
The moment
Yeah,
that losing
exactly.
streak hit 5, they would have traded him. Um, Tonight's therapy session, and I do agree with Lindsay that that was a good question for you, RJ, about the
Yes.
practices from
Yeah, it was.
Maggot. Uh, Tonight's therapy session feels more like have a beer and a nice chat, which is better, I think. That's from Pickles. Yeah, I'll take that after a loss rather than the, oh God, how do we fix it? What's going on?
Yeah.
Why won't it stop?
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's got kind of more of a feel to it. I don't think a whole lot of therapy needs to be administered. Just move on and play tomorrow.
Hmm.
Let's get ready for that one.
Right, and Alex bringing up Grubauer still looking very good. Yeah, and I think that is also one of the biggest takeaways that we can have from this, which is it. He still looked hot. It wasn't like those performances we had seen from him before. He was making good saves. Um, Two of those 3 goals were just total breakdowns by his team that any goalie is
Yeah.
going to have an
Yeah.
impossible time stopping. So.
I was worried after the first one. I think we all were.
Hmm.
But no, he was very solid the whole way through for the rest of it. So yeah, no, that was good to see.
Yeah, settled in. I think a lot of parts are better, but the whole pie isn't always mixing well. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, it does feel like at times the Kraken will, they'll work on X, Y, and Z, and maybe 2 of those 3 things show up in one game, and then a different set,
Mhm.
a different pair of those 2, 3 things, show up in another one. It does feel like, uh, I mean, maybe for that Capitals game, everything felt like it was clicking. Because, I mean, the Carolina game, it was just kind of a gutsy, grinded out performance. It wasn't so much like, oh, the Kraken are just feeling it and they're gelling and everything's on point.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, um, yeah, it's just getting it all together for a full 60 minutes.
Hmm. Um, Also, my standing of the German gentleman continues to be validated. Yes, it does.
Yes. Yep.
What player, if any, would have changed the outcome of that game?
I mean, I think there are a number of players around the league, I suppose, that could have. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, yeah, you're looking at a forward and you're looking at someone who can just kind of create offense by himself,
Hmm.
that just has these flashes of moments in games that, where you can just take over a game for a minute. And then, they're basically the high end forwards in the league, the McDavids, the Dreisaitl's, the Panarins, the Pasternaks, those kind of guys are capable of doing that.
Yeah, I think they kind of have the answer, though, already on the team in Jared McCann.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe time to consider moving him into a top 6 role, and maybe Wenberg gets bumped down the lineup a little bit.
Yeah, I think it would generate some more offense on that line, and certainly as maybe an adjustment late game if you're trailing.
Hmm. Which they kind of did tonight, essentially, by having him center Schwartz and Eberle. Like,
Yeah.
that looked like our earliest prediction for what the Kraken lines will be right after the expansion draft.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that that's something worth considering moving forward for them,
Yep.
just to maybe it'll help wake up Wenberg.
Yep.
I saw Grubauer went to the small Bavarian town of Leavenworth in
Yes. And Washington. Yeah, that
yeah,
was
Washington.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw he posted that on his Instagram. I hope it felt like a home away from home for
Hmm.
him. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interested to see, what he thought of it. But he posted a picture on Instagram. It was cool seeing him, in this little, Bavarian town. So yeah, that was cool of him to go there.
Yeah, hopefully he had a good time. And yes, I am saying basically clone McCann. I think if you
Yes.
can get
Yeah.
another one of him or 2, I think that helps out the offense as a whole. I mean, Yanni Gord did that when he first came back into the lineup at the big, those first couple home games they had. Remember how much
Yeah.
offense he was creating, how many like breakaway and odd man rushes he was creating for himself, how hard
Yes.
he was driving the net. Now, I think he's still got all of that. You and I have both talked about, it feels like the coaching staff is asking him to focus a little bit more defensively than
Mhm.
that. But again, maybe it's time to open that up. Wenberg isn't bad defensively. You could also
No,
just
he's not.
swap maybe out their roles and see if that
Yeah,
helps
I
out.
think Wenberg could handle that.
Yeah, and I think it would be good for um, Gord to be back, in that offensive mindset
Mhm.
and being creative and all of that stuff. Let's see. Rushdie is going to be critical in Florida. Yes, it is going to be.
Oh, for sure.
It's they are a team that can score. They are deep, even without Barkov. They are deep, so that'll definitely be something. You can win with 2 Jared McCanns instead of like 1 McDavid, but we only have 1 McCann.
Yeah, that's a good assessment.
Yeah. The second McCann is Matty Beniers. I mean, he's certainly looking like that. The way he has worked on his offensive game this year and
Yeah,
come
I mean,
out
I would
blazing. Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped for that.
absolutely. I
'Cause
mean, just watch some of the college highlights. If you need a little pick me up at any point, just watch some Matty Beniers highlights.
yeah, and know that that is coming to Seattle. Um, Outside of injury, what forward do you think could benefit from a line shakeup? My mind goes to Donskoy, but I'm not sure who to pair him with that best complements his strengths. That's been a tough one for the coaching staff all year. Like Donskoy hasn't seemed to gel really with anybody.
Right. No, he hasn't. I mean, well, what's the line you've been suggesting all season that we still haven't seen? Was it Johansson, Geeky, Donskoy?
Yeah,
Is that the one?
I would like to see Donskoy and Johansson together because I feel like we saw that in the Vegas game, the very first game before Johansson's injury, and I thought that they worked really well together through the preseason and in that game, and I thought that both Johansson and Donskoy are creative guys that see the game very similarly, and so that worked. And then I think that creativity with like Geeky's shot and ability to just somehow get open at times, I think could create something.
Yeah.
Regarding the live commentary, great job. Would be nice to have a timer check on screen every once in a while so we could sync up. Yeah, that we can work on. And I can certainly be more vocal about it too.
And thanks for the feedback.
Hugh Jazz. Hey, have you guys ever watched hockey before? Awesome. Gord does need to be a little better if possible. It's from Striatic. I think the last couple games have been a little rough for him.
Yeah.
Even those wins.
It's tough because he's been asked to play kind of 2 different roles this season. First with the more offensive, 1C kind of role. Then he's been moved back more defensively. I think they need to, I guess, decide, pick one, kind of what do you really want him to be for this team?
Yeah, for sure.
And then he can work hard toward that.
Yeah. Who's going to have a standout game versus the Panthers tomorrow? That's from Lindsay. You got any early guesses? I mean, based off Gord's performance tonight against his old team, I'm leaning against picking Winberg.
I know, right? I think let's go.
Normally I'd stick with McCann, but if he's going to be stuck kind of buried down the lineup, I don't think him either.
I got this weird feeling it's going to be Jaden Schwartz.
He's due.
Yep. So I don't know. I think just kind of the way the rush games play, just kind of the style of game that Florida will do. I think Schwartz could get a few good opportunities and bury one.
I'm going to say Yanni Gord because I do think the last, really since we've been doing this, we talk about stuff and then it seems to happen, whether or not, the guys themselves are listening to us or not. This might be a stretch on my part, but we have seen a lot of the stuff we've talked about happen. So as we're all sitting here talking about Gord, I could see him maybe being a little frustrated with his performance tonight and wanting to come out tomorrow, pedal to the metal. So that would be fun.
Yeah.
Back to Hugh Jazz. So there's this new sport called hockey, and it's kind of cool. You should watch it. I'm getting a hunch you guys like the Eagles, the band or the football team. So you guys watch football, right? So I guess the football team. You're definitely wrong there. Joshua Stratic, agreed. Seems Gord has been a bit quiet lately. Yeah. Let's see. Going down to Ferris. I'm new to hockey, so what are the options for Beniers, first round picks that are in college at the moment? Does he have a chance to join this season or next season?
So he does have a chance to join this season once his college season is over. And one thing that would do is burn a year of his entry level contract, which of course Beniers would prefer. It gets him to free agency faster. So he could join, probably looking at maybe April or so this, March or April of this year. Alternatively, he could just join at the start of next season. We're looking at one of those two.
Yeah. I think he's going to, given the way he's been playing, I think, he'll be here towards the end of the regular season this year.
That would be my guess.
And they'll try to get some games in for him, get him used to everything. Given that we are sharing an AHL team with the Panthers, are there any Panther prospects that look good to you guys? that are, I guess, worth following.
I mean, yeah, because they are kind of together on that team. And it's interesting just having both there. I think like the team's leading scorer is still out like Alex True.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one Panthers prospect that I've kind of quietly been watching for a little bit is Lexi Heponiemi.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's on that Charlotte team. But I haven't really looked at like how he's doing. But he's an interesting forward to me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Anyone you got an eye on, Dylan?
not too much. I haven't had the time.
Yeah, it's been a
sticking
lot.
so close.
I haven't even watched much this season. I just remembered that name.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the Checkers roster and stuff so we can get an idea, because I'm sure I'll see some names that'll jar something loose once I see it. While I wait for that to load.
Sure, yeah, I can handle
Yeah,
the
go
chat
for
for
it.
a little bit until you. We are sharing with Carolina. No, it's actually sharing with the Panthers. The Checkers, they are in. They were the Hurricanes AHL affiliate, but now they have a joint affiliation agreement with the Panthers. It can be tough to keep track of because it seems like this stuff changes every year, and really it kind of does. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of, but it is Florida now. But they used to be the Carolinas AHL affiliate. Standard question, but I didn't watch the game myself. Just listen to you guys. 3 stars. 3 stars. Interesting one for this game.
It is. Would you consider throwing Grubauer in there?
I might. I'd say him 3rd star.
Yeah, I would. Just because if you're thinking about guys that you notice them doing something good, Grubauer has to be in there.
Maybe Alexiak in one of those 3.
Maybe 1st star for me from the Kraken. If we're only looking at Kraken, is Hayden Fleury.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, I think I do the Alexiak Fleury D pair as so Grubauer 3, Alexiak 2, Fleury 1.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yep. Carolina thought the Checkers are Florida. Yeah, it changes a lot. Beniers is needed at the moment. It's tough. I mean, I don't even know where the spot is. You'd put him, obviously a player that skilled. You could find room for him for sure. But it's tough.
You'd have him centering a line instead of Blackwell.
Yeah, that's what you'd do. Now that I think about it.
Because I like having whatchamacallem. I like having Geeky on the wing right now, just given his struggles and trying to get him going. I thought Blackwell didn't exactly put in the best performance tonight.
Yeah, no, I didn't notice a whole lot from him on the positive side.
Other than him falling a lot.
Yep. Yeah, that did happen.
That happened, unfortunately. Let's see. If we're well out of playoff position, do you just save Beniers extra year by not playing him this season? I don't think that long term it's going to be worth it. I think if you really feel like you want him next year, you get him experience this year.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's going to be good for his development long term, and you deal with it. If he's the superstar, it looks like he can be. He's going to have to get paid at some point anyway.
Exactly.
And you just want what's best for his development. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see. I'm just getting to the roster now.
Oh, Denisenko is their top guy, right? Yeah, I mean he's a former 1st-round pick a few years ago.
That's who I was gonna say. Looking at it, he was the name that jumped out to me.
Yep. So.
Yeah.
Hunter, I missed a chord. Yeah, he's down there. But I mean the way Grubauer's been playing the last 3 games.
Yeah, it's made it stomachable.
But still, you need to have the second goalie, and we'll see what Drieger can do tomorrow night. I mean, that'll be huge for him.
Yeah. From Michael, if Kraken continue to struggle, a lot of top 5 talent to choose from in the draft. I know it's early. Yeah, no, this is an extremely deep draft class.
Yep. So, and the Kraken will have a 1st-round pick in it. I just don't see them moving their 1st-rounder. So pretty much no matter what, they'll have a 1st-round pick in it. So yeah, no matter where they're picking, they'll have someone good to choose from.
Yeah. So I do think it wouldn't, if the Kraken continue to struggle and stay towards the bottom and do end up in a good position, a high position, I do think that this is the year to do that. The last couple of years would have been rough potentially. Yeah. Patreon request for a monthly prospect recap like Dylan did for the entry draft. Love the breakdowns. Yeah, I do plan on working on that kind of stuff. Just been waiting for a sample size from everybody so that I can compare them to last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it's too early in the season, it's hard to really make
Yeah.
the comparisons for the jump. But Dylan the scout
Yeah,
is eager
and
to do that.
and I'm definitely I've already started working on the Beniers one because that one is so like obviously
Oh
needed right now.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Tanev was flying around and hitting. Yeah, I mean,
And
every
right to
game.
the last shift too. I mean, that's
Hmm.
one thing I noticed. A minute and a half to go. Game's 3-0. He's out there flying around. He's out there hitting. Energy just doesn't stop with him.
Yeah, I just love it. We really need to start utilizing Flurry. I'm too positive to be mean, but I don't know what they saw in training camp that still puts Lauzon above Flurry. Yeah, and at this point, you're a quarter of the way through the season, and that's certainly what it looks like it should be.
Yep. I don't know because we get that question like
I know.
or on Twitter just so much like why Lozon over Flurry, why Lozon over Flurry, just every time we tweet out the projected lineup, it's
Hmm.
just like why is Lozon still in? I I don't know what else to say at this point.
Yeah. Gotta head out, but the live stream was a good time tonight. See y'all tomorrow. By the way, I think I usually show up here as reading ID. I'm on another device. Okay,
Oh,
so yeah.
okay. That's yeah,
Uh,
recognize you now.
yeah,
Got it.
it was nice to have you around for the game and everything. Stratic, I might throw Tan of a star. There weren't many standouts, but the team was kind of mediocre up and down the lineup, except for the Lauzon Larson pairing. Yeah, and that wasn't exactly a positive for them.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Tanev getting a star tonight for the Kraken.
No, I wouldn't either. No,
Yeah.
he could be in that conversation.
Not to be negative, but it could be a good idea to have three duds of the game along with 3 stars, and to keep track of each to see how it looks all year. Oh, there'd be a lot of Lauzon on that.
Yeah, there would be. Maybe running away with the win for those.
It would also be interesting too because Grubauer might have made it on one or the other for every game.
Yeah, that's true. He'd be the leader for both combined.
That is for sure. Okay, dinner time. Great stream. Going to full game time plus post game is impressive. Yes, thanks, Striatic. And enjoy your dinner. 3 duds of the game. Brian's on board with that. All right. So if we had to do, let's do 3 duds for tonight.
All right, let's do it.
Lauzon.
Yes, that's a given.
I might put Gord.
Yeah,
He had
that's
some
a tough
bad
one for me.
defensive miscues and stuff.
Yep.
So that's why I
And
would put him there.
I don't know. Donskoy, did he play? I mean,
I know. Part of that's they took him off like all his normal spots.
yeah. So
but,
I feel bad like because giving him a dud just because he didn't play enough really to earn it.
yeah, I mean I might throw Larson on there.
Yeah, I mean,
minus 3 in a game that you lose 3-0. There's something to be there. General poll for the chat: drip or drown on the Davy Jones hat. It's from Sergeant Pickles.
I know the polls for the chat, so I don't want to influence. I don't want to influence. I clearly already did, but
they're capable of having their own opinions. RJ.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a fun, neat thing to bring in like that.
Mm-hmm. Look how happy Johansson looked wearing it too. Like he thought it was so cool.
Yeah, I mean it is cool.
Yeah,
it is cool to bring that in there.
Lindsay said she liked the Davy Jones hat before I said anything.
Yeah, but the question is, do you
still
still like
it?
Yeah, that's the question. Good one. Lauzon is the tank commander, unfortunately. It's from Alex. I mean, not totally wrong. If Larson Fleury is the D pairing that shall not be repeated, what D pairs would you do if Lauzon were to get scratched? I liked Alexiak Fleury tonight, so I'd keep that together.
Yep. Maybe give a Dunn Larson?
Maybe. That's been kind of hit or miss for me.
Or no, Dunn. Okay, so you were talking about earlier, Dunn Susi. They had one good game, one bad game up till now. This was their third game. You said you're going to be looking at them all game. Mm-hmm. What'd you think?
I thought they were totally fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I didn't notice too much good or bad from them. So, yeah. All right. Staying even.
I would go Alexiak, Fleury, Larson, Susi, and then Dunn Giordano if he's around and healthy.
Interesting. Done Geo. We didn't like that one in the preseason, but
Yeah,
um,
but I think they've settled in a little bit more.
okay.
Yeah. Let's see. The only reason I see for keeping Lazon in the lineup is to keep his value high when we trade him. The winky emoji. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not working out if that's the plan. Larson did a good job disrupting rush chances from Alex. I agree. Like I said, it's more so like victim of circumstance, or, at some point, if, just the numbers just add up kind of thing. But I didn't think Larson actually had like a bad game.
Yeah. And, so many times in the game, he kind of did his thing in a good way.
Yeah. Let's see. Going back up, who was it? Brian was saying Lazanin. Mo Maggot brought up Appleton and Geeky not really doing much tonight.
Yeah, Appleton I haven't been impressed by since he's come back. Could be an element of shaking off the rust still, but I don't know. Just there's no pop from him. There's no plays where I just really notice the hustle, the things that we saw so much in Winnipeg. Why we were so excited about him coming to the Kraken. I just have yet to see that this season from him.
Yeah, and then one last one before we get into all the talk about the hat. Has Ron Francis conducted an interview yet after the start of the season?
He did do an interview with the Seattle Times, kind of during the losing streak. He didn't say a whole lot. I think he said something, to the effect of, well, we did expect to be better, and obviously we're not happy with the record and whatnot. But he did do an interview with the Seattle Times, but not like a media availability or anything like that, where he'd kind of be asked questions impromptu like that. Yeah. So that's all that I've seen from him.
Yeah.
He's in his office though every day for practice. You can see him through the window. He's in his office. Yep. Usually got the phone on speakerphone like this, so he's doing some business.
Doing the GM stuff. All right, so now we got the results of your of the poll here about the hat. Lindsay's in favor of the hat. Grizza Smash likes the hat. Momaga likes the hat. Sergeant Pickles, I think the hat is both cheesy and amazing all at once. I'd agree with that to some extent. Yeah. Fan of the hat. My husband is tired of hearing me gush about it. It's a good one. And then I blew Joshua's mind by picking Larson as a dud tonight. Yeah. I mean, it hurt.
Dylan picks Larson as you'd hate to do that.
Yeah.
But
it was just.
Oh, Alex asking what happened with Gio, and if he was like at the game, that would be hard to figure out. So he is in COVID protocol. It was just a last minute thing, right as warm-ups were going. That was announced. So Gio is in COVID protocol. I should check Twitter to see.
I was gonna say
get an update.
I was gonna say that's something that I didn't even think of, and I hate to bring it up, but now we're back on COVID watch again, as far as other guys.
You never know who else is gonna pop up.
Right, because obviously he just traveled with the team, cross country, and he was around this morning around them and everything. So if he did in fact test positive, and it's not just that he was a close contact to somebody, unfortunately, that means we might be seeing something from someone else too at some point, which would be unfortunate. Is it a minor?
I don't see any update. Oh, sorry, I don't see any update on Gio here.
Yeah,
I'm just checking Twitter.
Yeah, I would suspect we're not going to see anything tonight, probably after the game. Is it a minor fail that Francis has now lost Bastion, Bayruther, and Barry Boulay for nothing this year? So we talked about that a little bit during the stream, the game commentary.
Well, we'll start with Bayruther.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean that's not a fit. Like he was never taken with the intent of ever bringing him in. You can argue about maybe they should have picked someone else with that one, but like the plan was always to lose him. But Barry Boulay and Bastion, it's tough because they have a lot of depth at forward, right? That's part of the expansion process. It leads to teams that have a lot of forward depth. And you can't keep everyone, as we learned, with the Bastion situation even. So it's tough. And if you don't lose those two guys, maybe you lose like a Donato or, because you got to pick two other guys because the roster's only so big. So, Donato or a Will Borgen, maybe you end up losing. So, there's trade-offs.
I was going to say, you're then looking at, just ask yourself basically, would I rather have like Barry Boulay than Mason Appleton or Colin Blackwell? Yep. Right, because like those are the options. I don't know that I would. Granted, we've talked about Appleton hasn't exactly been the player we were hoping he would be, but
Mhm.
that's really what the question comes down to more so. It's just the nature of they chose more guys than they could have, right? Just by the
Yep.
nature of the expansion draft.
You
So,
got 30 picks. You got 23
so
roster spots.
yeah, so it's just unfortunate in that sense. That being said, again, make a D trade at some point and free
Yeah,
up
so
a
and
roster
it
spot
solves a
bench.
lot of issues. Yeah.
Stop carrying 8 defensemen.
Yep.
All right. Any guesses on who the mascot will be supposedly revealing next month? That's from Michael.
That's right. And so that is some news that we haven't really talked about yet.
No.
Is mascot is coming next month. Sources within the team say that, there will be a mascot revealed sometime before the end of the year. Excuse me. And don't know any more than that. They're staying pretty tight-lipped about it. As far as guesses, I mean, Dylan, how are you feeling about your guesses from our mascot video? And I feel like we plugged this video so many times already because we made this all the way back in what June, July,
April
whatever it
or
was.
something. I don't know.
April,
it
we
was
made
a
it
long
super
time
early,
ago.
trying to guess what their mascot would be. If you haven't seen it, go see it because it's pretty funny. But yeah, so how are you feeling about your guesses there, Dylan? Sigmund the Sea Monster.
I was gonna say that's the one that has not aged well. Part of that was the Amazon connection. Amazon was trying to bring back Sigmund the Sea Monster. That did not work out well. Hasn't been any Sigmund news from them for a while, so
Nope.
I think that one's out. But I still feel pretty good about my Poseidon pick, something like that. Because it could be somebody in a big felt costume, or it could just be a guy running around shirtless, like the Vegas Golden Knight, doing cheesy whatever pregame stuff. So
Yeah. And I think probably the most likely of my guesses was like that, pirate kind of Jack Sparrow, whatever type of guy, more like a Davy Jones type of thing. Although Seagull, man, you got to go with Seagull, the Seagull.
Seagull.
I'm still on that train.
I think there's a chance for that, but at the same time, I think it is going to be connected to the ocean itself and the idea of the depths and all that stuff.
Yeah,
it really seems like now that we've seen more marketing from the team, that is where their focus lies. So my guess is that's where the mascot's going to come out. But if anybody's got a guess, go ahead and throw it up in chat.
Yep. Yeah, we're seeing some comments about that in chat here. Davy Cones.
Lindsay, it's a rule now that if you put a player with the last name starting with a B on waivers, they will get claimed. It sure does seem like that.
Them's the rules.
Alex, the power play was pretty blah.
Oh,
it was
for sure.
It was
couldn't even get set
terrible.
up. There was nothing. They couldn't get set up.
It was terrible.
Hey, the Quali is a fan of Seagull.
Don't feed the seagulls. There you go. It's true. I still think waiving Bari Boulay was a mistake. I mean, it's possible.
That's the one you could argue the most for. Of like, I think that,
right,
because at least just given his upside, it has more chance for regret than Bastion. Whereas like we kind of know what he is.
Yeah. Again, at the time, you could have lost Bastion instead and kept him. That's probably a net positive, and then you then ask yourself, the Mason Appleton question later.
Yeah, and that meanwhile you have like 7-8 more games of Barra Boulay to really get a sense of what he brings to your roster.
Exactly. I wish Gio a speedy recovery, but if this isn't hashtag free Willie Borgen time, then it should be hashtag trade Borgen, sadly. At some point, they're going to have to do something.
Agree. I mean, you can't keep him on your roster all season and not have him play a single game. It's not good for him. It's not good for the team. You don't want that.
Yeah. They should make the Gru goalie art Cone Man the mascot.
Yes.
Davy Cones, yes.
Davy Cones, that's the one.
That would be awesome. Alex, the Bolts Arena crew leaned heavily into Squidward memes on the Jumbotron tonight. I mean, is it low-hanging fruit? Potentially. Is it still funny, though? Like, probably. It's at least where I land on it.
This is too easy.
I hope it's not a cheesy squid. I'd like a CGI one like at Vegas. That would be so much fun.
Yep.
To have a big thing like that. I'm guessing the Davy Jones hat is a clue, and it's Davy Jones. I mean, It's interesting because obviously Bruckheimer can bring the hat in and whatever, right? Like that's all cool
Yeah.
and fine. But I got to think that there'd be some major licensing issues if they were to bring in the Davy Jones from those movies,
Oh, for sure.
or Jack Sparrow.
That could get expensive real quick.
Yeah, and not quite, bringing back the Seattle Metropolitans for a third jersey expensive though. But
Yeah.
probably not going to be like 10 million bucks. But yeah.
Yep.
Uh, let's see. The mascot episode is awesome. That was my introduction to ECH, and have been here ever since. Thanks, Joshua. It was a lot of fun to put together. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, so fun.
Mascot will be Kitty B Kraken. It's from Kraken fan.
Yep. Kitty B.
Yep. Cthulhu for mascot. I could see something like that, Lindsay.
Yeah.
And I'd be down with that. Although then, are you like upstaging the Kraken?
Right. Yeah.
That's the one worry.
Mm.
Got a literal god, and he's serving the Kraken. I don't know that it works that way.
Yeah.
So
I just want to see him do something with the eye that's up there by the terrace. I just it's there and it's cool that it's there. I want to see something from it. And it just it'll blink occasionally, which I also think is cool, but it's got to be there for something, right?
Yeah, I'm ready for a little bit more to be added to the pregame than what's been there. Obviously, they are working on it though. Stogskoy for mascot, definitely. I'd be cool with that.
Yep.
If they pay for our relocation, that would be cool.
Send those write-in votes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a cute squid named Inky.
I mean, you could go that way, like for the kids and everything.
Yeah.
Because you're not like showing the Kraken, because it's clearly not the Kraken. It's just like,
yeah, it's the Kraken's apprentice. I like Inky, and I like the idea that it's a cute little squid that then, you can introduce it to whatever mascot is for the other team during the thing, and then it just goes off on them. Like it's just like one of those things. It's the bait and switch. It's like, oh, it's this cute cuddly little Inky or whatever, and then like when it's game time, like Inky goes off. It's like, damn. That would be fun.
Oh, I like that.
If it's Davy Jones, it can't be a cuddly version. It has to be the full send movie version. I agree with that, and that's why I think it's unlikely to happen. I don't know that Bruckheimer has that same pull. Michael live in Pasadena and was going to game against Yotes at Climate Pledge on 21st. When I'm back home, what do I have to see/eat at Climate Pledge? So you've spent a lot more time there than me, RJ.
Let's see. You've got to see. You go at least like before you go in. Like, try and look in through the windows at Tightwad Terrace, because that's really cool on the north side of the arena. So like look in from the windows from the outside. Walk around for a little bit too. See the plant wall. It's just odd. You'll never see anything else like that inside an arena at the lower concourse level. So check out the plant wall. Let's see. As far as food, and I feel bad about this, we will get you the Shaq's Big Chicken review at some point, because we know the people want it. So I don't have a whole lot of good suggestions for what to eat, because the team is very nice. They do have food in the press bridge a lot, so it's just kind of easier to go grab some of that. But yeah, definitely see through the windows, because that's like a unique feature. And then plant wall. Anything else, Dylan? I mean, you've been there.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just part of the game day experience stuff, right? Like the twins, right? Having two jumbotrons to look at and stuff. So you'll see that just by going to the game. The other thing I'd say is, just keep an eye out for all the, like, are they LED boards or are they projections when they project all the underwater stuff around?
I think they're LED boards. I don't think they're.
I think so too.
Yeah, mostly LED boards. But yeah, look at that too. As you're going around, they have a lot of like underwater theme type of stuff. Just enjoy the theme. Yeah,
it really adds to the ambiance of being there. So, but otherwise, just enjoy it. Drink it all in. It's hockey. It's NHL hockey in Seattle. Let's see. I'd prefer if the Kraken itself is never actually shown. Keep the mystery menacing for all of time. That's from Sergeant Pickles. I'm okay with that too.
Yep, I'm with you, and most importantly, the team is with you on that. Like, that's the way they're gonna go. That's something that's very important to them. Clearly, like watching all the videos where they talk about it.
Yeah, Inky After Dark. Yes. Yep. A salmon mascot could happen too. Yeah, I could
Yep.
see something like that. Be a little rough, like what do you do with the arms?
Yeah, yeah, you'd
Maybe
have
you're a little
to
limited there.
work on some things to make it work.
Yeah, and then Lindsay bringing it up. Yeah, I did think about the team store.
Oh yeah,
Lindsay
the
with
team
the
store, of
go
course.
buy some merch at the massive team store after you buy ECH merch, of course. That is true.
Thanks for that, Lindsay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually haven't been like fully in the team store yet because it's always so busy whenever I'm there for a game because lots of people are trying to get in. So I figure that's a good sign though. People seem to like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say at that first game I went to, so the Ducks game, when we got there, I looked at it and it was like they had like a sign up that it was like 45 minutes just to get in.
Yep.
It's like,
So
dang.
I got to cover the game. I can't be.
Yeah, I
wait
know. It's like
45
I
minutes
can't do
in line.
that. So yeah, but it does have a ton of stuff. We saw it. I would look through the windows and stuff when we were there for like morning
Mhm.
skates and stuff, and it's got everything you could want in there. It's pretty cool.
For sure.
But I think that we're gonna go ahead and call this post game. It's been quite the journey going through
Yeah.
the live commentary for the game, and then all of this. It's been so much fun though. I really like
Yes.
this. I like this kind of relaxed atmosphere we've fallen into here. We're just chit chatting. I think it's been a lot of fun, and I definitely look forward to when we do these in the future.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it was a trial run went really well. Yeah, looking forward to it. Being the Patreon thing for real and for all the post games.
Yeah, for sure. Ethan's Tech World jumping in here. It seemed like 3/4 of the game was Tampa having the puck, so that on its own was a problem. It really was.
Yep.
At least we split with two really good teams. I agree with that if you count the Carolina game in there, for
Yep.
sure. Night, Lindsay. See you tomorrow. Let's hope the Kraken can find a way to win. I think it's possible.
Yeah, for sure.
I never say it's
That's all right.
probable. I'm never gonna I'm just not
Okay.
that kind of guy. You know that. But
Yeah, that is true.
I do think that they could do it tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Based on the performance tonight and it not being their old like, oh my gosh, it's a problem self. I think it's good. Asking what time it is tomorrow. I believe it's 3 o'clock. Yeah.
It's 3 o'clock. So that is an early game. Everyone remember that. Don't tune in at 4 and it's already first period's gone and whatnot because I've made that mistake before. Yeah, make sure to tune in at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, so 3 o'clock. And then that also means nice early post game.
Yeah.
So
Nice and easy.
that should be fun. All right. Thanks everybody for joining us, especially those of you that joined us for the live game commentary. Thanks for dedicating so much of your day to us. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, seriously.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow.